Well, my name is Amol, and here I am looking for advanced auditing and assurance being associated with Yashodeep. For more information, you can get touch in with me through my email amol.saman3005@gmail.com. Well, the content is we are going to take one more question from the BPP exam kit of P7, which was asked in 2012 December. The question name is plant and it is amended question from the BPP exam kit. The objective will be to understand the case requirement, the questions requirement followed with understanding and the flow of the answers. I do advise to for more information you can get this on the BPP exam kit of the advanced auditing and assurance. Please do share, like, follow, comment and turn on the bell notification for more information. Well, here you are an audit manager in Weller & Company, an audit firm which operates as a part of the international network of firms. This morning you received a note from the partner regarding the potential new audit client. So this is a new audit client. Further, the question states, I have been approached by the audit committee of the plant group which operates in the mobile telecommunication sector. Our firm has been invited to tender for the audit of the individual and the group financial statement for the year ended 31st March 2003. And I will like you for help in preparation of the tender document. This will be major things for the client for our firm's telecom audit communication department. The plant group communicates and is comprised of the parent company and its 6 subsidiaries, one of which is located overseas. The audit committee is looking for a cost-effective audit and hopes that the strength of the plant group governs and internal controls means that the audit can be conducted quickly with a proposed deadline of 31st March 2003. The plant group has been expanded rapidly in the last few years and a significant finance was raised in July 2003 through a stock exchange listing. We are required to explain a firm of the auditor may decide not to seek the re-election of the auditor. So here we have to explain exactly why a firm of the auditor may not decide to seek re-election as auditors, which was asked for 6 marks, followed with the evaluation of the specific matter to be included in the tender document for the audit of the plant group. An auditor mostly seeks non-re-election. That is, the auditor may not be interested for re-electing as an auditor or holding the office of the auditor of the client if suppose there are disputes with the client, or disputes can be there, one factor. The second factor, it can be that their independence, objectivity is affected, and in order to have the professional ethic continue with the election. Also, it may happen that the auditor may find that they lack the necessary skills required for auditing. So in this case also it may happen that the auditor may seek not to get re-elected. Also, the competency issue. If the auditor is not having the requisite skills for getting the audit, or if may not be able to appoint the required team persons, resources who have the proper skills, they are not in the capacity for getting the training or improving their skill set required for auditing, because this organization is suppose they require a complexity of the business, then in such case the auditor may wish not to re-election. There may even happen that the management conflicts are there with the auditor, and because of which the auditor wish not to seek re-election. Or it may even happen that the auditor are unable to properly audit the client. Then in such case it may happen that they are looking for the re-election. Suppose it is creating an independence trait or the familiarity trait can also be the case, or their independence is being affected because of the fees, or the client is not paying us on the time, so they may also wish. Or it may even happen that there is a rotation in the number of years being appointed as an auditor. So these are some of the cases in which the auditor not to seek re-election as an auditor of the organization of the client which they are looking for. Now in the second matter, for the evaluation of the specific matters to be included in the tender document for the audit of the plant group, there are several matters which we have to consider in the tendering. You know, in tendering we have covered the following things about the overview. It was given in the question that the Weller and the company, the audit firm, operates as a part of the international network of the firms. So this is a Welser and company which is operating at the international levels, and they are having the network of the firms internationally. And again in the question it was being given that the plant group comprises a parent company and 6 subsidiaries, one of which is located overseas. So this is the firm which is internationally globally networking, and your plant group is also having one subsidiary which is located overseas. That means the audit firm have the required global experience, and they can even audit of this plant group subsidiary which is as well in your overseas, and that's why they have the proper skill set required for auditing of this subsidiary, and thus they can have the proper auditing in the place over the controls and checking the audit of this plant subsidiary which is located outside. Moving with the resources, in resources we have to know and identify who are the resources, that is the manpower, who are going to take this audit assignment, whether there are proper resources available for the audit firm in auditing the plant subsidiary which is located outside, and they have to check the resources available, the skill set of those resources, whether they can do the audit effectively, efficiently, whether they have proper timing in performing and executing the audit. A proper planning has to be done in the place by these resources. Also there is a proper planning team, leadership team who are going to look after the audit effectiveness of the client, that is the plant subsidiaries, and whether they have the proper training in the place for auditing the client. As in the question it was being given that the client is operating in the mobile telecommunications sector. So whether do you have the proper team who is having the experience in the related areas, we have to check for the audit. We have also look after the independence, because there might be the case that we are having the similar clients operating in the similar areas, that is the telecommunications services, that is sector. So a independence should be maintained, and this independence can be maintained with the adequate safeguards in place. There should be proper review of the work done by the audit team, so that it will be able to monitor and understand the depth of the audit client. Moving further to the quoting fees for the work before it is being carried out. There should be a quote of the fees before accepting the engagement, and the quote should be having a breakup of the fees which are going to be charged. There shall be no contingency fees or the percentage of the profit. A proper quote of the fees has to be there in order to maintain the quality in the course of the audit of the client. In the question, it was being stated that the plant group comprises of parent company and the 6 subsidiaries, one of which is located overseas. So this requirement should be included in the client assessment. They are going to audit of the group in large along with the subsidiaries, and one of which is being at your international level, that is located overseas as given in the question. Later in the audit approach, the auditor will be mentioning about the internal controls available at your client, and they have to check their controls efficiency, control effectiveness, so that if they are strong enough controls, it will be able for the auditor to perform the work of the audit effectively and efficiently. The audit firm should have the proper competencies requirement in the audit of the client. This should also be stated in the competency in the tendering document. They will be performing the audit as per the professional ethics and the standards of the quality control. The firm will be having the proper independence required for conducting the audit. They will maintain the objectivity and the professional behavior and professional conduct in the flow of the audit of the client. They will be compliant with the ISBA professional ethics and the code of the conduct. Suppose if there are the risks, it should also be mentioning in the tendering document along with the safeguards. It will also include the additional services which the audit is providing to the plant as a whole. And now this is the company is going to be in listing. It is given that the plant group is expanding rapidly in the last few years and significant finance was raised through the stock exchange listing. So this is a listed company, and here some services can be provided, however they should not be material enough, because as you know that for the listed companies and the non-audit service, if they are material, then such services cannot be provided by the auditor and they are being prohibited. However, if the services are not material and the company is listed, then it can be provided with adequate controls. So this is also to be included in your tendering document. It was given in the question that the group governance and the internal controls means that the audit can be conducted quickly and with a proposed deadline of 31st March 2000 X3. That means from the year ended 31st March 2000 X3 to this date, which is being expected in proposed deadline, that is the 31st May 2000 X3. It is just a period of April and May, that is just 2 months. So this is not good, because this is creating an unnecessary pressure on the auditor in completing the audit engagement soon as possible, because the deadline is just the 2 months away from your previous year end. So this is the case that the auditor is pressurized in performing the audit. This is not a good case, because it will unnecessarily pressurize the auditor in performing the audit. This will affect the quality of the audit, because the auditor will not be having the adequate time in performing the audit effectively, efficiently to check several evidences which the auditor finds necessary. And this just 2 months is a very short deadline. So this should also be stated in the tendering document, proposing the next date by which the auditor think that this assignment will be completed. So it will be not pressurize the auditor. Auditor can perform effectively, efficiently, and they will be able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidences, and the audit will be completed, and every area are required in respect of your financial statements audit can be performed by the auditor. So this should also be stated in the tendering documents about the deadline. This complete your part A second requirement of 9 marks. Now we are moving further reading part B, which is for the remaining marks. In the year, it is said that the Weller and the company is facing competition from other audit firms, and the partner have been considering how the firm's revenue could be increased. 2 suggestions have been made. First suggestion says that the audit partner and the manager can be encouraged to sell non-audit services to audit clients by including their remuneration packages as a bonus for successful sales. Second requirement, that is the second suggestion, says that all audit managers should suggest their audit client that as well as the providing the external audit services, the Weller and the company can provide the internal audit services as a part of the extended audit service. Here, you are required to comment on the ethical and the professional issues raised by the suggestion in increasing the firm's revenue. So in the case it was being given, there is a face competition from the other audit firm, and the partners have been considering the firm's revenue for increasing them. So there were 2 suggestions being given, that the audit partners and the managers can be encouraged for selling the non-audit services for their clients, including the remuneration packages, a bonus for successful sale. So this is not a proper, because we will understand. We will just reading first and then we will be understanding. And the second says the suggestion, all audit managers are suggested to their audit clients that as well as providing the external audit services, Weller can provide the internal audit services as a part of the extended audit service. And here we have to mention and comment on the ethical and the professional issues being raised in the above 2 suggestions. So what do you feel? Answers for 10 marks. The suggestion 1 is not good as per the ISB code of the professional ethics, because the audit fees are being given based on the remuneration packages, a bonus for successful sale. Ideally, if such is there, if such suggestion is being used, it will affect the independence of the auditors, that also it will be affecting the objectivity of the audit partners and the manager. And audit partners and the manager are encouraged to sell. That means they are the persons who are experienced in the audit. Audit partner is also considered to be the person who is leading the audit team, and the manager is the person who manages the audit functions of the client. So if such is given, it will but naturally affect the independence, objectivity of the well-run company in performing the audit. Again, they will not dispute with the audit client in respect of the observations which they find are materially distorted to the financial statement, because there is a chances that if they do so, if they argue with the management of the organization, then they will not be able to sell the non-audit services to their clients. And this means that they will be okay whatever is being going on, and they will not be effectively able to perform the audit. They will also be not be able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidences. So in such cases, this is against the violation of the code of the professional ethics. And such services, that is the audit partners and managers, to sell the non-audit services to their client by including the remuneration packages as a bonus for successful sales, is not acceptable at all, and they cannot be forming the part of the bonus element. Agree, in some cases this can be given, that is the bonus can be given. However, there should be a safeguard should be taken in such cases, like independent review of the work to be performed. There should be quality controls measures in the place. Then this is okay with it. That is, if there is a proper control and review of the work done by the managers, then it is okay of giving the bonuses. However, there should be a peer review also be performed. The quality checks, controls, parameters should be met. That is, the safeguard should be in place. However, instead of the managers, they are the partners or they are the senior managers. Then in such cases, such provisions cannot be made. And then in such cases, that is in the case of the senior manager or the partners, such cases should not be provided. The second suggestion says that all managers should be suggest to their audit clients that all well and providing the external audit services, the well and company can provide the internal audit services as a part of the extended audit services. So here they are asking, and the suggestion is that the internal audit can be performed along with the external audit. So this is not possible, because this is the case where it will create a self-review treat, because the internal audit is being performed by the same team who are conducting the external audit. However, the safeguards can be there in the place. That means a separate team of the internal audit should be appointed and a separate team for the external audit. There should be proper control review. Work should be reviewed effectively of the internal auditor, and the external auditor has to perform a professional skepticism in relying the work of the internal auditor, because the external auditor is solely responsible for the audit audit statement of the financial statements of the client, and they can rely on the internal audit provided adequate safeguards are being taken. And there should be separate team also for performing, if there is the same organization, same firm is performing both the internal audit as well as the statutory audit. Even as you know that the team for who is looking after the external audit should only review the internal controls. They should not frame, they should not design the internal controls. The external auditors are required to check whether these controls are effective. They have to review and not to perform the internal controls or not to design the internal controls. Such services like the controls, internal controls building, then it is not correct. And if they are asked to provide this, then the auditor should resign from the engagement, because the internal auditor role, the management role and the external auditor's role are completely different. They are not, because the management is the person who controls, who designs the internal controls. The internal auditor team and the external auditor is reviews the control. So the same team should not look after control. For listed clients, such services providing is not possible, is not permitted if they are material to the financial statements. So this ends your 25 marks question. Signing off from here. Thank you so much.